did a motivational interview. We were trying to find out some things about him. I asked him how often he works out, what his lifestyle looks like in regards to physical activity, and he said he works out regularly. He said 3 to 4 days a week, sometimes 5. He said his current routine fits his schedule and he likes that, but there's very little structure to it. He just kind of goes to the gym and does whatever he wants, and so he wants a routine that puts him on more of a schedule. He prefers mornings because of school. It's just what makes more sense to him. So he prefers working out in the morning. What he likes to do is weightlifting and some plyometrics, so body weight sort of things. I asked him what his motivation was for exercising, and he said it's because he feels gross when he doesn't, which makes a lot of sense because working out does a lot of good things for your body and your mind. He also did mention he has some back pain, which could be related to weak core and poor posture.
So based off of our client's interview, we developed a few goals for him that could potentially work for his program. The first one that we included is to build a stronger core. We know that his back hurts and he experiences a little bit of pain sometimes. So if we can build up that core, we can potentially fix those problems with that. The second one we want to do is increase endurance and flexibility. Those would be really good for him because one of his goals was to build strength training, which involved those larger muscles and everything. And then flexibility will also help with that core and that back problem. And then the final goal that we have is efficient and consistent workouts. We know that he has a busy schedule, so if we can just do it that way, we can basically build that around him and incorporate that into his program as well.
Okay, so since his main goals were increased endurance and a strengthened core, we chose to test him on his endurance using the YMCA step test and then strengthen his core and test that by using the trunk stability push-ups. So on his YMCA step test, after he was completed, we checked his heart rate for 1 minute and compared it to the chart. His heart rate sat at 103 beats per minute, which put him at the below average level on the YMCA chart. And then during his trunk stability push-ups, he received a 2 because he had to do slight alterations. Since his YMCA step test was at a lower level than that of his trunk stability test, we chose to focus the exercises more towards increasing his endurance in hopes to get his heart rate to a range of 79 to 84 beats per minute, which would put him at the good range on the chart. But we wanted to make sure we also included some core exercises to also hopefully increase his level on the trunk stability push-up.
The workouts we chose for our client are going to be based off the test that we did, so they're going to be geared around that. We chose the plank because it is very effective at building a stronger core, and it'll help with the longer lasting effects of that. Sit-ups are going to be doing the same thing. It's going to be good for consistency, just for that core strength. Jogging is going to be good for the cardiovascular system. It's easy to do, so it doesn't take much equipment or other things. The burpees are going to be a little more difficult because you're doing the standing up as well as the jump. So it's going to be good for cardiovascular as well as muscle strengthening. Romanian deadlifts, those are going to be good for the hamstring, glutes, lower back, a lot of the posterior chain, which a lot of people neglect. The straight leg kicks are going to be good for just stretching and that flexibility that we saw was lacking a little bit. And lastly, the goblet squat is going to be good for that, again, core and also that posterior chain, as well as we're going to be able to test those quadriceps a little bit.
All right, so today we're going to be doing a variation of the deadlift called the Romanian deadlift or RDL. We're going to start with the weight and start our rep with the weight kind of at our hips. So we're going to pick this up with our feet just about shoulder width apart. What we're going to do is we're going to start a little bend in the knees just to be athletic, but nothing too crazy. We're going to hinge at the waist and send our hips back and bring the bar to about mid-shape level. And then we're going to drive the hips forward. And that'll be one rep. Sit this down. Go ahead to 3-5 reps here. And really make sure, I want you to think about hinging at the hips and setting the hips back instead of bending on the back. Looks good. Looks great. Good work. Really make sure we're Sending the hips back.